Code everything.
Guys, we're back in free code camp, intermediate algorithm scripting. We're doing DNA pairing. So what are we trying to do in this? Essentially, we are taking in a letter, a string, ATCGA, and then we want to return its corresponding DNA pair. So if it's an A, we need to return the pair AT. If it's a T, TA, C, CG, G, GC, etc. So in this case, the way I did it was, at first, I added, you don't have to do this, but this was I've had these issues in the past. I've actually done this assignment for class a while back, and so I put everything in the uppercase format. And the reason, because I don't want to have to worry about the input of being a lowercase c or an uppercase c. I just want to, whatever it is, make it strong, because I use a if statement. So we're just gonna uppercase everything. The next thing we're gonna do is take our original word, our original string, and then we're gonna split it up. And we can split it up just by calling .split on it. And say we wanted to split words in general, we would just put a space, or comma if we want to split up on the comma. But in this case, we want to split every character, and that's how we do that. So the next thing I did was I created a empty array, and I just called it placeholder array. And we're going to set this equal to that, to an empty array. Okay, so where do we go from next? Because we want to add to our placeholder array the DNA pairs. So you could do this with a switch statement. I didn't. I did a for loop. Either one would work. So we're going to start with a simple for loop starting at 0. So for var I is equal to 0, while I is less than the length of our character array, our string, so str.length. We're going to continue on, and then we're going to increment by 1. Alright, so what now? So the first thing we need to do is we're going to have 4 if statements. 1 to check for G, 1 to check for C, 1 to check for A, and 1 to check for T. So we have our 4 DNA base pairs. And then we need to add to the placeholder array. So let's just go ahead and check. We'll start with G. We'll say, so if the current item we're iterating through in our character array is equal to G, we want to take our placeholder array, and then we want to push that value onto it. And so again, they want us to return a array, so we can do it like so. So it takes in a G, and then comes the placeholders, or the corresponding base pair. So that way we can do this. Then we'll set our string here equal to placeholder to override at the end, and then we just return the C. We could also have just returned placeholder, placeholder array. Cool. So we can just check to make sure everything's working by putting in a G, and looks, it returns GC. Perfect. So we're just gonna have to basically do this all over again. So else if str I is equal to C. We'll do C next. We want to take our placeholder array, and we want to dot push the array pair, and then we just have to put in the values here. So start on C, and C corresponds to G. And again, we can just kind of check real quick. This is really how you should be doing it when you're writing this code out, is you should kind of check at every statement, just because it's so much easier to debug while you're working on things to make sure things are working, rather than writing 20 lines of code and trying to figure it out after, which is what I do most of the time, and I hate myself for it. So we're checking for A, so we're gonna go placeholder array dot push, and then we're going to be checking. We're saying, look, if it's A, return the base pair AT. And I feel pretty okay that we're probably doing this right, so I'm not going to check it. So let's go ahead and do another else if, our final else if, and this one we're checking. The last one we have to check is for t. So we're going to say stri is equal to t, got a quote here. And then we're going to say placeholder array dot push. And then we're going to say, look, when we take in the t, return ATA. And then when we run it, that should be it. Oh, except let's see what's going on here. So geez. So, where is our error here? T, so it takes in A returns. So it's only returning 3 pairs right now. So it goes A, which returns TA, T, let me go ahead and put this in here and see if that should be the same thing. Huh. So if our string I returns G, so let's just go ahead and return a T and see what happens here. So T returns TA, and then we'll put an A returns AT. So I'm not quite sure what the issue is here, so we want to return, let's just return the placeholder array. So we should have 10 letters getting returned here. GC, CG, GC. If. Ah, here we are. We have, oh no. That's right. So this is our function. Pair. We bring everything to uppercase. We break it up. TACG. Wait, no. TA. No, it should be AT. Oh, here it is. Whoops. And of course, don't forget to put that you're checking the character array. There we go. So a simple little error there. Before we move on, let's go ahead and put our code in. And of course, you saw right there, I kind of contradicted myself. Oh yeah, we're good to go, and I broke it. So let's just put our comments in here. Changes string to uppercase for simple checking. And then here we'll put in breaks string up into a character array. And then here we'll put empty array to be added to. I highly suggest that you put comments in your code either while you're doing it or after, just because it's really going to be helpful down the road. Alright, so loop to iterate through character array. Then we'll only do one of these if statements because they're kind of all the same. So we'll say checks current character, and if equal adds to PHA placeholder array the corresponding DNA pair, and then we could just do ditto. Oops. if you really want to be anal about it, and ditto. So that was the DNA base pair. I hope you guys found that useful. So sorry for the stutter step there, but you know, it's programming, that shit happens all the time. So I hope if you did it better, you used a switch statement. That's also a great way to go about it. I just happened to do a for loop and if statement. So I'll see you guys in the next video, and as always, questions, comments, concerns, anything constructive, it's really appreciated. Thanks, guys.